Today I'm going to show you my recipe for a tofu salad, which replaces egg salad as a filling for a sandwich, a wrap. Sometimes when I'm really lazy, I just scoop it up with carrot sticks or put it on crackers. But it's easy to make, doesn't require any cooking, almost no prep time, and it stores really well in your fridge and you can eat it over a couple of days. So let me show you what we're going to use and then let's make it. Okay folks, here's what we're going to use to make our tofu salad mix. We need a block of extra firm tofu. I have pressed this in my handy dandy little press, but you can just sandwich it between some clean tea towels and put a plate on top and put a can on top of it for about half hour, hour-ish, whatever. That's more than enough. And then this recipe, I'm using this yellow curry powder, the sweet one, not hot. Some Indian black salt, Kala Namak, to give it that eggy flavor. Some vegan mayo. I'm using Hellmann's. You can use Follow Your Heart. There's lots of other brands, but Hellmann's is delicious, easy to find, and cheap. Pickles, sweet gherkins. Now, a little bit of sweet in this recipe really makes a difference, so I prefer a sweet pickle anyways. So my recipe calls for that. And then we're going to add in a couple of green onions. You could also use diced red onions if you like. I notice in a lot of recipes they only use the green. I don't understand that. I use the whole thing. And that is it. Let's get to making this because I'm hungry and it's hot. So this is a really simple recipe and I make it a lot because, like I say, it's so easy and it makes a great sandwich filling. And if you were new to plant-based eating and you miss the ease of being able to just make a quick sandwich, this is the recipe for you because it's exactly like an egg salad mix in a sandwich. I have some pita bread and I'm going to put it on some pita bread with some lettuce and some shredded carrots and have that for dinner. So the first thing we want to do with freshly washed hands in a bowl, we're going to crumble our tofu. So I've got a block of extra firm tofu here and I have pressed it. You don't actually need to press it, but I find by the time I add all the ingredients, it can get a little watery if I don't press it. So you just want to crumble it so it is the size of, you know, mashed up hard-boiled eggs. You don't need to be delicate about it because when you're stirring, make sure you make a mess because when you're stirring, it's going to break up a bit more as well. Oh, but it's nice and cold. Right now, anything that I can get my hands on that's cold. Oh my gosh. If you can't find extra firm, use medium firm. I think if you're going to use a medium or a firm, then it's more important to press it. But you should be able to find extra firm anywhere you find tofu. Okay, so you want fairly small pieces because you want it to mimic that. All right. That is about the size you want. So now I'm just going to chop up my green onions. All right, so I've got the green onion in there and now I'm going to take the pickles. Use however many you want. Like I say, I like a little bit of sweet in my tofu salad. When I still ate eggs, I always put sweet pickles in my egg salad sandwiches and or now tofu salad. So you want to chop these fairly small because you want this mixture to be small, fine enough to put on a cracker, right? And obviously on a sandwich. So I chop the pickles up pretty small. The thing is, you can put anything in this tofu salad mix that you would put in a regular egg salad sandwich. So if you put red onion in there. Some people like to put carrots in their egg salad sandwich. I sometimes do. Or even red pepper or something like that. But usually it's just the tofu, green onions, or red onions, depending on what I have, and pickles that I put in mine. So that's all we have for main ingredients. Now, we want a half a cup of mayo. You can start with a quarter cup if that's what you want, but I have a whole block of tofu, so a half a cup is going to be about right. This actually tastes better after it's sat in your fridge. Overnight at least, it just starts tasting better as time goes on. Now we're going to use 2 teaspoons of the mild sweet curry powder. This may seem like a weird thing to add to tofu salad, but I saw it on a recipe by Budget Bites and it's delicious. So I really like it. Like I say, prefer to have a little bit of sweetness in mine. So I'm using a tablespoon of the juice from the sweet pickles to add a little sweetness. It was all I could do not to add maple syrup to this, but I didn't want to freak anybody out. So, and now I'm going to add a quarter teaspoon of the Indian black salt. Now this is very strong and it's got a real sulfury egg smell to it and taste. So I'm going to add that in, and then I'm going to add some pepper, which I forgot to show when I was showing the ingredients. But, you know, salt and pepper to taste. You can add more salt after if you think it needs it. Oh! Oh. Wow. I'll be right back. Well, that was fun. Wow. I never liked that pepper shaker. Anyways, stupid pepper shaker. Yeah, so I just spent the last, well, far too long, picking out pepper seeds from this mixture, which meant that I also picked out some of the ingredients. So I've just put in another green onion, a little bit more pickles. I'm going to add a little bit more mayo and a little bit more of the yellow curry powder because a lot of it was stuck into the mayo. Thank goodness the mayo was on top. But, you know. And I'm going to add some more mayo. That was quite something. I think it's actually quite funny, but that's the way my cooking goes. You never know what's going to happen. Oi, oi, oi. So, once you've got this mixed well, then you want to taste it to see if it needs anything else and to see if it's the right consistency. You might want to add a little bit extra mayo, a little bit more salt. I would just add regular salt at that point. But get it all mixed up. And as I said, when it sits in the fridge, it's going to develop the flavors a little bit more. But let's just give it a taste as is right now. Yep, that's good. That's really good. It's amazing how eggy it tastes because of this Kala Namak. Now, you can find the Indian black salt online. You can find it at specialty spice shops, like I buy mine at the Silk Road Spice Merchant here in Calgary. But you can also obviously find it at Indian grocery stores or any grocery stores that sell, that have a nice sized ethnic ingredients section. I'm not going to let this sit right now. I'm going to make myself a wrap for dinner, but obviously the rest is going to sit in the fridge. But right now, I'm just going to make a wrap. I'm just going to show you what I do. I kind of prefer it in a pita because the pita is a little stronger to hold it. Pitas are traditionally vegan. There's no buttermilk or eggs in a pita. Whereas naan, unless it specifically says it's a vegan naan, will have buttermilk in it. That's traditionally how the recipe is done. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm just opening up the little pita pocket. It's tearing on top, but that's okay because I'm going to wrap it. You'll see what I mean. I'm just cutting the opening so that it gives me some room to get in there. So you want it about like this. And now I've got some green leaf lettuce. And I'm going to put in some lettuce. Just get it into the back there because you're going to put the tofu salad mixture on top. So I've got it like this, and now I'm going to scoop some of this in there. Just get it right into the back of the pita. Push it back. Now I have some little carrot shreds that I made with a peeler, some carrot ribbons, I guess you would call them. So I'm just going to dry some of those off, put them in there for some extra crunch and extra veggies. Well, that was much more entertaining, much more action than I wanted in this recipe. I wanted to be eating by now, but in the interest of keeping it real, I'm going to leave that footage in because it's just too funny not to. All right, so once you've got everything in here, here's how you want to wrap your pita, or at least how I learned to wrap my pita. So you just take the top and you push it back. So you've got all the ingredients tucked to the back. That's why it doesn't matter if this top is ripped a little bit. Sometimes one side rips. And then you just wrap it. You got a nice little pita wrap. You can wrap this in foil wrap, parchment paper, whatever you want. Or you can eat it right now, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to cut this so you can see what it looks like on the inside. There we go. There you go. So, perfect sandwich spread, perfect in a wrap, perfect just scooped onto crackers, or like I say, sometimes I will just use carrot sticks to scoop it up because it's just so simple. So I hope you like it. Hope you try it. Let me know what you think if you do. But here's one recipe that doesn't involve heating up the house and is fast if you don't dump a whole container's worth of peppercorns into your bowl while you're making it. Okay guys, stay cool, and I will see you next week.